Well folks, GDKO 2024 is over, and boy, what a great competition we've had. There have been some seriously good games submitted throughout the cruelly competitive rounds. We've given out prizes, highlighted a whole set of new top seeds should they choose to return next year, and all there is left to do now is see which dev has done enough in the eyes of the GDKO judges to take home the highly coveted GDKO winners t-shirt. We'll take a look back at each of the finalists' journey throughout GDKO 2024. I'll be revealing which devs will be taking home the sponsorship prizes littered throughout the competition, and finally I'll be giving you a sneak peek into what's in store at GDKO 2025. So without further dragging out of the intro, let's get into it. If you're new here and thinking to yourself, what the heck is GDKO? Well, ponder no more. GDKO is a multi-round game jam that starts on the 1st of January every year. To qualify from each round, you'll need to place highly enough in the rankings. The later rounds sprinkle in some judges' inputs, elimination twists, and only a handful of devs will eventually make it to the final. The task for this year's final was to make a game with the theme Gamble. The twist was that you could only use assets that you previously used in the first 4 rounds. This year, the final 5 devs are Dev Pirates is a true veteran of GDKO, and the only dev left in the competition to have entered GDKO 2022, 2023, and 2024. After getting knocked out of GDKO 2022 in round 5, Dev Pirates returned in 2023, only to suffer defeat in the Dev vs Dev elimination round. This year, Dev Pirates has gone another step further in reaching the final with the conclusion of the Chronicles Sideshow saga. Dev Pirates got into game development 25 or so years ago because he loved playing games and making systems. Making games suits his jack-of-all-trades skills, except for marketing and social media management. Dev Pirate loves making games and refining them into something fun, and struggles most with making games for people who aren't him. 3 games that Dev Pirates couldn't live without include Super Metroid, Flashback, and Extreme G3. He's really enjoyed playing games from Hugbug, Spoonsweet, Hazmat, and Avengi throughout GDKO 2024, and his favourite thing about GDKO is the challenge it presents him to make a game with his busy life. For the final, Dev Pirates has submitted Chronicles Gamble, a game where you take your life in your own hands, completing mini-games devised by a dastardly circus ringmaster. Josh has been developing games for about 15 years. He started making his first games whilst in secondary school. As a kid, Josh loved playing video games, and when he was 4, he got a Game Boy, which, in Josh's words, was amazing. Josh loves being creative and combining his love for drawing and graphics with ideas and programming to make something cool you can interact with. Josh struggles most with finding the time and energy after work to work on his games. 3 games that Josh couldn't live without are Slay, The Spire, Crusader Kings 2, and Return of the Obra Dinn. He's enjoying playing games that Q34 has made this year, and likes the restriction that GDKO imposes, which force everyone to be creative and think outside the box. For the final, Josh made a game called Space Poker, a card-based clicker where you have to pay off debts you've accrued from gambling by more gambling. Avengi has only been developing games since early 2021, which started as a hobby. His favourite thing about game development, other than the fact that it's fun, include the community, the challenges of switching hats, and the unlimited potential of growth in so many directions. Avengi feels that game dev is probably the best way to utilise technical skills into a form of art. Avengi struggles most with time, or the lack of it, and his 3 favourite games are Half-Life 2, Death Stranding, and Hazmat's Sir Spectacle series. He's really enjoyed playing the games from GDKO, especially Larry's game Santa Lucia in round 3, which had something special and personal for him. He's also enjoyed playing Hazmat's and Dev Pirates games and thinks that Q34 and Hugbug have been putting out some very good content throughout the competition. Venji loves the community aspect of GDKO the most, and the competition pushes him outside of his comfort zone and encourages him to try new things. For the final, Venji made a multiplayer Russian roulette style game where you have to bet on which toilet stalls have toilet paper. If you win, you can roll over your winnings and continue, or take your prize money and run. Hugbug has been developing games for nearly 20 years, but only 2 years seriously. They love games of all kinds, and their favourite thing about game development is the graphical elements. The hardest thing about game development for Hugbug is making things fun and balanced, and finishing stuff in time. Hugbug has a love for tabletop RPGs, the Legend of Zelda series and Civilization. Hugbug has enjoyed playing Dev Pirates Chronicles series the most throughout GDKO, and their favourite thing about GDKO is the deadlines and friends they've made along the way. For the final, Hugbug made a slingshot game with Olympic undertones. Ping your guys across the playing field to score points. Q34 has been developing games for about 3.5 years, and he originally got into game development because he wanted to make stuff move on the screen. Q34's favourite thing about game development is the moment you realise your game is fun. Like most devs, Q34's least favourite part of game dev is bugs, and he hates them. 3 games that Q34 couldn't live without include Hollow Knight, Portal and Minecraft, and he's most enjoyed playing the games from Venji and Josh throughout GDKO 2024. Q34's favourite thing about GDKO is the supportive community it brings. Q34 is also working on a Steam release called Valak, a game about a dwarf living in an underground village. One day, the dwarven miners dig too deep and uncover a cursed rune. Read more and wishlist the game using the link in the description. For the final, Q34 made a turn-based racing game about snails. Use your deck of cards to strategically outrun your fellow snails, and of course, you can bet on yourself to win. Before we continue with the video, I'd like to give a massive shout out and a thank you to our wonderful Patreon and YouTube channel members: Foozle CC, Retro Galaxy, Olivia Bernier, Amari Lewis, Enmark Games, Jess Matt, Tor, Hammock Alex Anderson, Rob, Martin K, Julian Cruz, Ralson Gonzalo, 8-Bit Gamer, Davey Wagnerop, John Allegrezza, Dan, Focus Hero, and XHXIATEIN. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and helping to keep GDKO running every year. If you'd like more information about what's on offer on the Patreon, there's a link in the description. GDKO will be returning again in 2025. We managed to get on the featured jam list of itch this year, a few days prior to the jam starting. It'd be great to be featured a few months in advance this year, so if you're looking for a way to support the competition, please feel free to reach out to the itch support team and ask them to feature the jam again. The email is support@itch.io. Just tell them how much you love GDKO and how it should be featured on the jam list this year. GDKO will be in its 4th year in 2025, and there have definitely been some learnings along the way. There will again be 5 GDKO judges who will be picking wildcards. The judges won't be setting tasks, but they will be judging and rating the games in the final round. Wannibe Manisha is back, along with new guest judge Sleeping Panda Games and Anitclux. Links to their socials can be found in the description if you want to check them out. There's one spot reserved for the winner of GDKO 2025 if they choose to take it, and I'm still searching for one final judge to join the roster. GDKO will go from 5 rounds plus the final to 4 rounds plus the final, dropping 1 round next year. The elimination percentage brackets will also change. In order to qualify from round 1, you'll need to rank in the top 50% of the community voting. Round 2 will see the bottom 25% facing elimination. Round 3 will see only the top 10 devs progress. Round 4 will be the Dev vs Dev and Classic Recreate round, and you'll need to outrank your opponent to progress. The top 1 to 2 games in this round will automatically earn a place in the final based on whether the submitted games are odd or even. Round 5 will be the final and will be judged solely by the GDKO judges. Rounds 1 and 2 and the Dev vs Dev round will see wildcard picks. In round 1 and 2 there will be 2 wildcard picks, and in the Dev vs Dev round we will see just the 1 wildcard pick. All 5 judges have submitted their rankings for the final 5 games, and the overwhelming consensus from the group is that this was so hard to judge and so close. A huge congrats to everyone who made it this far, but unfortunately there can only be one winner. Ranking 5th overall is Avengi with Restroom Roulette. Avengi made it through the first round of GDKO with Unspectacular, a game about walking a tightrope, placing 18th. In round 2, Avengi dropped 1 place to 19th with the game Q, where you play as a blind barista, listening out for audio cues. This would serve to be Avengi's lowest place finish in GDKO 2024, as they catapulted into 9th in round 3 with The Hunt, before climbing again to 4th in round 4 with Track and Fear, a horror take on the classic recreate of Konami's Track and Field. The judges chose Avengi's game Side Effects as the 5th and final qualifying spot in the semi-finals, and 5th place is again Avengi's final resting place at GDKO 2024. Josh has given us some amazing entries throughout GDKO, with all entries placing inside the top 10, including a first place finish in round 3 with Scroll, and a second place finish in the Dev vs Dev round with Track and Rings, which earned him an automatic qualifying spot. Staying consistently within the top 3, the GDKO judges also ranked Josh second in the semi-final with his game Title Screen, a wonderful clicker game about UI. Hugbug, Q34 and GDKO veteran dev pirates remain, and I'm sure you'll all agree when I say any one of these amazing devs is worthy of GDKO Gold. Giving us some real gems such as Cat Burglar and Animex Clash of Catbot, crowd favourite Hugbug has rolled into a respectfully 3rd place finish. Their final entry Gold Medal Gamble earned them a bronze in the eyes of the GDKO judges, but when Hugbug looks back at their entries from round 1 to the final, I have no doubt they'll be proud of how far they've come. Both Dev Pirates and Q34 have been strong competitors from the very start of the competition. Dev Pirates has continued to develop his Game Boy inspired Chronicles series, which has landed favourably among the GDKO community voters, and Q34 with a more varied approach, opting for a different game each round. Dev Pirates has consistently placed inside the top 10 in each round, a feat equalled by Q34. Q34 has, however, managed to notch up a first place entry in Dev vs Dev with Duck and Field, and adds to that with perhaps the most important first place finish in the competition, first place in the final with Snail Pace Race. Congratulations to Q34 for winning GDKO 2024. Reach out to me in the Discord for details on how to claim your t-shirt, and let me know if you'll be accepting a judging spot for GDKO 2025. Lastly, before you go, I'd like to thank you all so much for taking part and supporting GDKO 2024. Please join the Discord if you haven't already. It's a great place to chat and share progress on your GDKO games, along with a bunch of other channels dedicated to the top game engines. If you're interested, the community votes have now been made live, so you can head on over to itch and see where you're ranked in the competition based on your peer-reviewed voting. That about wraps everything up for GDKO 2024. If you haven't joined already, head on over to itch and join up to GDKO 2025. Links to everything are in the description. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next video.